Let's invite Heidi Hommel, KTAR reporter, in right now. I know that you are outside the courthouse, live, as they say. Heidi, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. We got the headline, if you will, that Lori Vallow Daybell has been found guilty, facing conspiracy to commit murder charges.
Yes, she was found guilty of conspiring to murder her fourth husband, Charles Vallow. Now, he was shot and killed by Lori's brother, Alex, in July 2019. And Alex admitted to shooting and killing him, even told police he did it in self-defense. So that was never a question about who did the actual killing. But did Lori have a hand in it? And the jury found that she, in fact, did.
So I kept some notes on what Lori Vallow Daybell did.
Like
right here. It's on my phone.
You're not kidding.
No.
Because this might take a while.
No, because I think that this case and this woman is so diabolical. I'll give you a couple things.
Okay.
2 kids dead. Joshua buried in a pet cemetery.
Oh, God.
I think it's Tylee dismembered and burned in a fire pit. I've got Lori and Chad Daybell married 2 weeks after the death of Chad's first wife.
Oof.
Heidi, the amount of people that surround Lori Daybell that are not on this earth anymore, it is startling.
This trial, this case, Lori Vallow Daybell's multiple cases, it spans several states, multiple deaths, and years of families waiting for justice. So in her Arizona trial, she's been found guilty of having a hand in her fourth husband, Charles Vallow's death. And we just heard from Charles's sister, Kay Woodcock, and she's actually the biological grandma of JJ, one of Lori and Charles's. They adopted JJ away from Kay because Kay's son had a kid young and couldn't take care of it. So that was one of the kids that wound up dead in Idaho after Lori and Chad moved to Idaho. But Kay, Charles's sister, she says she feels so validated and vindicated in this, guilty verdict. And it's been a long time coming. This actually, Charles died before the children wound up dead in Idaho. And so, they've been waiting for justice in this case for a very long time. And she always knew it was coming. And she even said that Charles would have wanted the kids' cases to have gone first because that was more tragic because how young they were.
Heidi Hommel, KTAR News reporter. The jury reached a verdict in the Lori Daybell murder trial. Guilty here in Arizona. What was it like to be in the courtroom with her? Because, when you want to talk about diabolical people like a Jodi Arias comes up in you think of
these
like
villains.
Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah. What was it like to watch Lori Vallow Daybell she was her own
defended
lawyer.
herself, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she did represent herself in the trial, which crazy if you think about it. Don't know why she thinks she knows more than a lawyer, but considering she's already serving 3 life sentences in Idaho, what has she got to lose? Right. And one thing about her is she loves the spotlight. She loves this attention. But I'll tell you I was at the opening statements and the closing arguments, and from opening to closing, she had confidence in her opening. I was a little surprised by kind of how smart she sounded, and she was doing an okay job, but, I was like, wow, she really did her studying. By the time closing happened, she had lost her steam. There was no confidence in her voice. She talked for maybe 15 minutes, not even. This was yesterday. Meanwhile, the state's closing was nearly 2 hours. So, talking to a jury for nearly 2 hours, telling them why she's guilty, and then her going up there trying to defend herself for 15 minutes. She didn't do a good job. And Kay, Charles's sister, she even said, she didn't know what she was doing representing herself. She just wanted the attention.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, this had nothing to do about guilt or innocence. She's never going to get out. She's never going to see the light of day. This was all about her being in the spotlight.
Exactly. She still has another murder trial in Arizona. She's charged with murder conspiracy again. Now, try and follow in the so she has a niece, Lori does, and this niece was married to this guy, Brandon Boudreaux, and someone shot out Brandon's back car window while he was standing in his driveway. So he almost got shot, but didn't get shot, lived to tell the tale. Divorces from Lori's niece, and they think that Lori, and the niece kind of maybe put Alex up to, shooting, trying to kill Brandon, but he did not die. But she will still stand trial in Arizona for murder conspiracy again in that case with Brandon Boudreaux.
Heidi Hommel, KTAR news reporter. One of the weird things about this case was the I think that my kids are zombies and I need to kill them.
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm glad you bring that up, Gatos, because yes, that the state used that as part of their argument, that they had showed text messages to the jury that there's this prophet Nephi from the Book of Mormon, and Lori thought that she would be like this prophet Nephi, and that the killing of Charles's killing would be justified because he was possessed by an evil spirit, and she had to get rid of him. But when she defended herself, not a mention of any of this, of evil spirits, of the Book of Mormon, of the prophet Nephi. The state used it against her, but that tells me that Lori knew that was not a good argument to make in front of a jury. So if you can turn it on and off, why should anyone believe her?
Because Lori and Chad Daybell were talking end times and religious beliefs, and claimed they had been called to fulfill a divine mission, and that they were having visions. Right? I think. Yes. Oh goodness.
And then both of their people they were married to wound up dead after that.
I don't even know if you know the answer to this.
It's like a black widow spider.
How many did she go? Did she marry 4 times?
5 actually.
5.
So
how many are dead?
How many of her spouses?
Yeah.
I just Charles. I don't know.
Just
no,
one.
actually, Tylee's dad died as well. So 2 of 5.
Yeah.
And then she marries somebody else, and then
his wife died.
Wife dies. It's incredible. It really. I mean, honestly, I tried to Google this. How many people have died? With in the inner circle of Lori Daybell, and it's hard to figure that out. There's a lot.
Well, we're gonna have more trials.
No, she's never going to get out of jail. She's going to rot there.
Thankfully.
No, she will spend the rest of her life in prison regardless of this guilty verdict.
Heidi, appreciate your insight into this, and thank you for being down there at the courthouse. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's KTAR's Heidi Hommel. Is it overkill that we keep trying a person who literally is already serving 3 life sentences with no chance of parole? There's an expense that goes along with this. There's the emotion that goes along with it. I mean, it's like, are you beating a dead horse at this point?
I mean, if something happens in 2 or 3 different states, they got to go through the 2 or 3 different states to figure out exactly what happened.
I guess.
You got to get your day in court, I guess, too.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gatos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.